What's going on, everyone? Finally, race week again. The Azerbaijan city circuit, the newest city circuit to be added. And personally, I think one of the most fun ones, I mean, if you've ever played any of the Formula One games, it's so fun driving around that, especially a little corner that we'll get into later in this video. But, it's race weekend again, which means we get to pay attention to the important stuff, the racing and the drivers, and not whether or not Alonso is dating Taylor Swift. Spoiler alert, he's not. Okay, it should be illegal for Formula One to take this much time off of racing. Or the last race was basically a month ago, and that's just way too long, especially right at the start of this Formula One season. So today we're going to just look at what we should be paying attention to for this Azerbaijan street circuit and paint the picture for a phenomenal race weekend ahead of us. Right before we hop into it, again, if you enjoy Formula One content on YouTube, please consider subscribing. A lot more coming your way. Now let's get into it. Like I said, this circuit is a funky one, and it is so cool. Very picturesque throughout the entire thing. And what I was talking about, that tricky corner, that race corner, is right here, the 8, 9, 10, 11 going into 12. I mean, you want to talk about an area for some mishaps. This is where those mishaps are going to be. You can see all the technical stuff about the track over here. 51 laps. I think we're really in for a treat, especially with how long the straights are in this circuit. That DRS is going to be crucial. Now, obviously that would favor Red Bull. However, we've been seeing a lot recently, and a lot of videos and articles come out that really their DRS advantage is not that strong, and it's just that their car overall is incredible. So either way, these long straights should make for some phenomenal passing opportunities, which I really hope we get to see. Now, looking ahead here, I'm so excited. Sprint weekend, everybody. Sprint weekend. I am all for sprint races. I know the critics will say that sprint races, it only benefits the great cars, the really fast cars, because they have more time throughout the weekend to, gain places in the field. However, I think it's important to note any driver can have any luck on any day, and sprint races just allow for more of that to happen. So on the Friday we have practice. I'll be waking up early for that at 5:30 a.m. so that'll be a lot of fun. But Friday is practice and qualifying, and then Saturday practice 2 in the sprint race, and then the race on Sunday. So makes for a phenomenal weekend. I'm all for Formula One adding more sprint races throughout the weekend. I think that's absolutely what the sport needs to do. And again, you can't take month breaks, even though I know the Chinese Grand Prix was supposed to happen. Sorry. But something should fill that place. That's a whole different video, about what Formula One needs to do to keep interest throughout the weekend. But going now to what we can expect from the drivers, the standings, and even the constructors we'll get into in a sec, so stick around for that. But obviously Verstappen and Perez are 1-2, 69 points to 54 points. I think Perez has a real good chance to really make up some ground in that sense. I know he is kind of the street circuit king. He has had phenomenal luck here for street circuits. So the fact that he is a sprint race to showcase that skill, as well as an actual race to showcase that skill, I think will benefit him hugely. You see Alonso kind of sitting in third place with Hamilton right behind him. I think if Mercedes, using this month basically of no racing, if Mercedes was able to make strides to really make their car faster and bring some meaningful upgrades, I think you will see Mercedes start to overtake Aston Martin. Because Fernando, Lewis, and then they're kind of in the league of their own. Then you have Sainz and Stroll, who are falling behind. I still think it's a definite the top 3. And going into the constructors, you see Red Bull, then Aston Martin, then Mercedes. Obviously, Red Bull, they already have 123 points compared to Aston Martin's 65 points. But Mercedes is right there behind them at 56. So this season is a battle for second, and maybe third if Ferrari's able to meaningfully get up there. But I don't necessarily see that happening, and trust me, that breaks my heart. But I think that the key takeaway and the thing to look for during the practices and the sprint race even is, can Mercedes make the use of some downtime and off time to bring some big upgrades? And I think if they're able to do that, then Mercedes will really springboard ahead of Aston Martin. Especially, even, you got to think the team of Mercedes has way more experience creating a top tier car. You know, Aston Martin has come out already saying how this puts a lot more pressure on them for race weekends, being at the top, compared to, you know, one of these teams at the bottom who are just kind of out there having fun racing, hoping for a point. So I think this weekend is going to be a real battle between Mercedes and Aston Martin. And honestly, I'm really hoping, you know, it's weird, like, Mercedes was at the top of their game for so long and everyone was rooting for a team to come and, you know, take them over. Red Bull did that. And I'm not even the biggest Mercedes fan, but I do think it'd be cool to see Mercedes back on top, and maybe not on top, but at least being able to beat Aston Martin. Still rooting for Alonso, though. Good for you. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Finally, racing is back. That's huge. Again, subscribe. I'm going to have videos coming out after the practice sessions and the sprint race sessions so that we can kind of break down what's happening and what we can expect for the race. And then, of course, a review of the race. I still will be doing all live streaming the races here on YouTube with a driver map, some commentary, and of course the lap and sector time. So subscribe so you don't miss that. And I can't wait for another racing weekend. Thank you so much for clicking this video, and catch you next time.